Hi, it's me, Frauke, and in today's video I want to talk about how I am navigating success in business as a really soft and feminine person. I noticed that as a feminine person, as a cyclical person, I have expected myself in the past to view success as being tougher, being more masculine, and also I expected myself to perform the same every day, which, if you are a woman or somebody with really strong feminine energy, is really tough on yourself. So here I want to share my personal experiences, what helped me navigate this. Yes, so be aware, this is really personal. I cannot make any general statements for anyone else, but maybe it's inspiring you. So the first thing really was to learn about my cyclical nature and about my femininity. Yeah, as you might have seen in the beginning, I actually wrote a little book, an ebook about femininity and, you know, being in touch and in sync with nature and your natural rhythms. I feel like this is really groundbreaking to, for example, if you are menstruating, learn about your menstrual cycles, learn about the nature that is surrounding you, learning about the seasons, your internal seasons, but also the external seasons. Learn about maybe even also the planetary constellations, and how everything is in a constant flux and death and rebirth. I feel like this has specifically helped me to be softer on myself. And for example, if I'm really depleted, I'm realizing, okay, my period is coming and it's okay, I'm allowed to rest. I feel like it takes huge pressure out of this toxic productivity, always hustling, never resting kind of mentality. So yeah, I can really recommend that, to learn about these things, and if you are interested you can purchase my ebook on Amazon. Another thing that I want to mention is that it can be really helpful to concentrate on the doors or windows that are open instead of banging on the ones that are closed. This of course depends on the kind of woman that you are, but me personally, I'm not the kind of woman that wants to learn how to survive in a macho place. You know, I want to be able to be myself, soft and feminine, not having to change myself. And so I realized, some of you might know, when I left school I studied at a university and I pursued a career in marketing before I started doing what I do now, working in the therapeutic field. I expected myself, I just thought, yes, I'm gonna climb up this job ladder. And then I was hit with reality, and I was hit with, I can't negotiate my salary, but I don't even want to learn how to do it. So if that's not the case for you, go ahead and learn how to do these things. But I realized for myself that I have zero interest in do these things. And that's when I realized, okay, so maybe being in the corporate environment is not for me. And yes, and so I started to look at the door that is open, and I realized when I'm in the corporate world, I always felt like I had to hide a part of myself. I had to hide my sensitivity, my empathy, and all my life I thought it's a weakness that I'm so emotional. And then eventually I read an article about how sometimes what you perceive to be your biggest weakness is actually your biggest strength. And this wasn't an aha moment in one day. It actually slowly built up, where I realized that maybe I should use this ability of mine that I'm a sensitive and soft person and capitalize on that. And that's how I got the idea to work with people, to figure out how I can be a gift and be of service to people. So that's maybe an advice that I could give. Again, this just worked for me, is looking at, okay, this door is closed, but what door is actually open for me? Where is the path of least resistance? Of course, that doesn't mean that you should always choose the path of least resistance. Sometimes you have to resist and you have to say, don't do this to me. This is a boundary here and no further. But in general, sometimes it was really helpful for me to look at, okay, where are my limitations and where are my strengths? Okay, so this next one is about allowing myself to be a diva, or more of a diva. I was raised in a household where it was a lot about being a really humble person, and I still am like that a lot. But I realized the more sensitive you are as a person, the more you need to allow yourself to be a diva sometimes. Me as a sensitive person, I'm gonna suffer easier, but that doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It is bad for every human. I'm just a teller species. I'm the first one to say, that's not good for me. By allowing yourself to be a diva, or allowing myself to be a diva, I was able to, create a life that is more suited to my needs. So for example, saying there are certain foods I just don't want to eat or cannot eat, even if this is gonna upset people, even if that makes me seem impolite. Or, I don't know, saying that I need my sleep. Can you please turn the music down? Can you please turn this and that down? I mean, I love listening to loud music sometimes, but just allowing yourself to be a little bit more needy. There's nothing wrong with that. And the way this transfers to being a successful person or a business woman is that you can actually build a business that is suited to who I truly am and not what I was told to how you should do it. For example, I work less, okay? I committed myself to actually setting a time limit on how much I work and saying it's enough. I don't have to work as much as others do if I can get the same results, or if I can get results that are enough for me. By the way, this goes hand in hand with allowing myself to ask for help. Often we have this fake pride of thinking that we have to do it all on our own, and we have to do it, independently. There's nothing wrong with healthy independence, but there's also nothing wrong with asking for help. If I'm realizing there's a limit, let's say I want to do marketing. I haven't done big marketing yet, but let's say I would. And ironically, even though I worked in marketing, I would probably suck at doing marketing for myself. So I could ask somebody else for help. Or let's say I would have to do a negotiation. I can have somebody else help me with that. What can I say? What can I do to get this across well? So whatever I want to do, and I feel like there's this genuine barrier, like it's gonna be really, really hard for me to do this, I now more allow myself to ask for help. I'm still learning this, however. The next one is allowing time to self-reflect. This goes back with the previous point of not always hustling and always expecting myself to be productive all the time, but also leaving some time to do shadow work, self-reflection, journaling. You guys, this is not wasted time. It is not. That's an investment into yourself, an investment into your, let's say, in your integrity, or just in your alignment. Going forward with, let's say, your business in a way of alignment. So this is really good. Some practices that I cultivated were speaking to my heart. I have a wounding of feeling lost sometimes, so speaking to my heart has really helped me to make big decisions, to feel more aligned, and it's a wonderful feeling. It's really grounding. By the way, I did a meditation on this. It's available on this YouTube on my channel, so if you want to, you can go check it out. Another practice that I also developed and do quite frequently is parts work. That's a form of shadow work, and it's really good to get conflicting parts to be on board so you can move forward with inspired action. And then just generally taking time to wind down, to, drink a cup of tea, smell the roses, enjoy the nature, meditate. This is not wasted time. This keeps us going for the long run. And this gets me to my last point, actually, and this also ties in with shadow work. When wanting to find out what your strength is, or what your niche is, or just what you want to do, I feel like inner work can be really helpful to actually get to know yourself. I always thought that I know myself. Doing inner work taught me better that there's a lot of things in my subconscious that I don't know, and it's really cool to unravel that so you can make decisions, business decisions, success decisions that are actually more in line with who you really are. So for example, I always thought, because I'm more on the introverted side, that I don't need people. Yeah, right. I actually realized I have a massive need for connection. I love being around people. I also like working on my own term, after my own rules, but in order to be successful, I also need to meet my need of connection. So the world has become an increasingly tough place, a lot of elbow mentality, a lot of people who are losing their compassion and their sensitivity, and that was my motivation to film this video. I want to be the light that I want to see in the world, and that's what I'm trying to do with this video and with this channel in general. Lastly, I would also be really interested what your experiences in the work world are. I can say it hasn't always been easy, if you've had similar experiences and how you handle that. If you have any tips, I'd be really interested in that. I'm constantly learning, and I'm constantly, trying to find my light and my joy in my success. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'm wishing you a really nice and successful day.